Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Zul'jin Distillery Invitational. Tonight, for the second of our doubleheader, we're going to catch Wood League and the mixture of Calculated Throw and Regen Blue, the Calculated Blues tonight. I'm your host, Aero, and I'm going to be joined by Empty Chair, also known as Recyclic.
Exception. I didn't leave. I'm still here. Also, I'm sorry. That kind of ruined that. I didn't stand up properly. Hi, everyone.
Also,
I'm back again.
Recyclic as well as the Empty Chair. So we're a little bit behind right now as one of the teams just got out of a brawl. So we'll be getting started here soon. So we don't, unfortunately, have any map bans to tell you. We don't have any selection to tell you about. What we can tell you is Wood League and Calculated Blues, both of these teams should be pretty even in strength overall. Wood League in season 6 ended their season, I think they were number 8 of NGS season, and then in NGS season 7 I think they were a little bit higher. Let me pull that up here. They were at number 2 of Division C East. Calculated Throw was actually number 8 of Season 7, but Regen Blue was a Div B West team. So having a little bit of a mixture between these two teams, you know, putting them together probably puts them in the same general ballpark. What do you think, Rek?
Oh, yeah, I'd say so. I mean, you know, Regen Blue, did they make playoffs? I don't think so. No, you're right. Yeah, no, I would say that actually puts them pretty similarly in skill level, and so it actually, you might even say it sandwiches this bottom of B and middle pack C. That makes a top tier C team, Aero.
Which in some ways it does, because we've seen some of the adjustments that Wood League has made. They brought in Sailor Sky. They brought in... Who else did they bring in? Sailor Sky was on the Found Vikings, which was the number 1 seed going into the playoffs that season. I believe they brought in... Did they bring in Emtano? I'm not 100% positive of that. But they did have some... Oh, I can see it right here. So, Sailor Sky, Corix... Butte actually joined them here this season. Butte Holiday, Dickey as well. So, you know, bringing up the power level of the Wood League team a little bit there. And, you know, whereas the Calculated Blues, I can't, you know what, I can't check that because I'll get rid of your beautiful face there, Rek, but I can check here on the tablet and tell you what their
It's okay. I have to move
roster looks like.
Yeah.
Thanks for the coughs there, Alice. Let's see here. So our submitted rosters for Calculated Blues. What do we got? We've got Mystic from Calculated Throw, Night, Brickhouse. Yes. Brickhouse was on Winky Face. Winky Face actually was the number 1 seed going into Div C East.
Ooh.
Genzor's, Spogino, and TBD. So I don't actually know who TBD is supposed to be. So I think that it looks to me, Regen Blue was originally in this, and I think that they dropped out because their team kind of disbanded a little bit there. And so I think this is primarily a Calculated Throw team with some members of Regen Blue filling in maybe some gaps, perhaps. So, but still, you know, again, picking up Brickhouse, you know, certainly helps out a lot there, and looks like we're getting our map bans now, so let me go ahead and get those set up here, as we also got a invitation. You should be able to join off me, right?
Yes. Join Jane.
Left, CD right. And let's go ahead and get this updated. So anybody on these teams that you know, sticks out to you, that you know that you're not overly, but more familiar with as players that you've played against or played with or anything like that?
I recognize a lot of these names.
Care to elaborate on any of that?
Let me go ahead. I mean, I have played against Sailor Skies a few times. Brick House I played against, Droopy, Cyan, Cavalier, all of them. I've actually even played with Cavalier. I know the names M to Know and Night Night, but that's it. So I know those two, but yeah, I've played against a good chunk of these players, so that's fun.
All right, so we've got our selections, and it looks like we're gonna get a first game on Battlefield of Eternity again. They picked BOE, so that would be
Aero. What the heck? You're getting all the Twitch primes tonight.
Oh, did I get another Twitch prime? I was busy looking at the thing. Aw, thanks, Lulu. You're the greatest.
Oh, I thought I was the greatest. Oh,
I mean, you're the greatest. You're the greatest co-caster, Rack.
Okay, I'll take that.
So let's see. So let's take a look at our map bands here. So scroll down. And sorry for the logo overlapping. I'll have to fix that later. But we've got the Alterac. No, Alterac wasn't banned. What am I looking at? Jeez. Cursed Hollow was banned along with Braxis by Wood League. Towers of Doom and Volskaya were banned out by the Calculated Blues. And our first game going to be right back where we just were a few minutes ago on Battlefield of Eternity.
Dope.
Corix wasn't following me? Well, welcome to the follow, Corix. Welcome to the stream. Glad that you could stop by and join us here. Rek, would you mind letting them know that we're ready to go? I'm gonna put in their names so that we can have their pop-ups. Yeah, Ektar, I figured, you know, as long as we were here, may as well try to get the game for them. We ended early enough.
Yeah, and while we're in a lull, how's everybody doing tonight? I hope everyone's at least average. At least.
I mean, I would say that I'm average or better.
I'm definitely exceedingly average tonight. Because I do have work tomorrow, but it was my day off today, so yes, like, okay. Feeling pretty average.
All right, these guys. I mean, I know we're ready. I know chat's ready.
Is chat ready? I can't tell.
Well, we'll know in 60 seconds. I'm sure they're ready. They're good. They're good to go.
They might be ready.
All right, Wood League's ready.
But they're not sweaty.
I mean, they might be sweaty. How do you know?
Well, they could be sweaty. That's true. I mean, it was hot out yesterday. Like, yeah, really hot.
Dude, I went to open the window for my cats because I was like, oh, you know what? Get a little fresh air in the room because they've got their own bedroom. And and so I went to open the window and it was like blast furnace of hot air. I was like, oh my gosh, nope, not happening.
Nope. Yeah, it's just, yeah, exactly. It was a big furnace of hot air, and you know what? Maybe it was hell, Aero, because hell is going to spill into the Battlefield of Eternity where we are going.
Oh, message, activity allow posted. Yeah, sure, why not? Huh. Interesting. Sorry, I just got a little note about allowing a message, which I don't think I've ever seen. Apparently the term thought, T-H-O-T, requires approval.
I mean, that's kind of silly, but okay. I'll go ahead through the bans right now. Johan has been banned first by, I'm drawing a blank.
Wood League.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I drew a blank there. I should have known that. Yeah, it was banned out by Wood League, which, not too surprising there. And, Sylvanas on the other side. I like that ban a lot, actually. She's a very much win more hero, and she's got actually a very good, race as well. So I'm glad that she's out of here. Also, I freaking hate her as a character. So get out of there. Diablo is the third ban from, or second ban, more technically speaking, from Wood League. And I agree with that too. So they're a bit of a tank choke. Maybe they're going to take their tank first just to choke it even further. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes. Stuki, no Stuki for Wood League either. So
now, you know, there is Sailor Sky is well known for playing in Alexstrasza.
Yes.
And I feel like this is a map that Alexstrasza can get some value on. Like, she's not as good as a Volskaya Foundry or an Infernal Shrines, but, you know, if you're trying to play a defensive position, or if you're trying to get aggressive going into an Immortal, I feel like a Dragon Queen helps.
It's kind of one of her maps, because typically, like, she's good on maps such as, you know, she's known for being good on Infernal Shrines and Volskaya Foundry, and the reason for that is that if she pops her Dragon Queen on the objective, generally she will have it back by the time the next objective pops. This objective seems to be a lot faster, at least from what I can tell, than others, than the aforementioned maps, I should say. So, she might not always have Dragon Queen available, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Unless she goes E-build, which I wouldn't hate. Ooh, Tyrant. I haven't seen that girl in a little bit. Sailor Sky can be playing that. That's actually kind of exciting. And Varian. Nice. Cool. I like Varian. I wish he was better. Like, I wish he was more prominent. How about that? Not necessarily better, but I like it. I really like that they're going Varian. Oh, I like it. And on the other side, they picked out Li Ming and Anubarak and just banned Artanis. Cool. Li Ming has decent race. She's one of the better race mages, I suppose you could call it. And Anubarak is a good pickup as well, you know? Just a nice general tank to have.
She might actually be the best race tank, or race mage, if you take the talents like Seeker and all that. I'm not sure. Like, Jaina with the cooldown reduction on her Frostbolt could be. I don't know.
Jaina, Chromie's not horrible either, to be honest. Not that she's good, but like she's not that bad either. I would say
that's true. Yeah, once she completes her quest, she does quite a bit.
Yeah, and so I think it would be like Li Ming, Jaina up there for the mages. So and look, they're here, haha. So that's funny. Jimmy and Anduin, good choices. I just like the simplicity of Calculated Blues, which I love that name. Composition so far. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. That's just something I like, Aero, as a person. I like simplicity and straightforwardness. So this looks good. I like that comp. But I'm also really liking Wood League so far. And they're going for Greymane and Shen. I love it. I love every bit of it.
Yeah, I really like... I mean, everything looks good here. I was wondering if it was going to be a taunt variant. It does look like it is. And, you know, the thing that I'm... the only thing I'm really concerned about at this point for the side of the Blues here is that Anubarak's a dive tank. And once he dives, the rest of his team right now is kind of squishy. Now, the Arthas is going to help pretty significantly. That's also going to help with the Greymane. So there's that. But, I mean, you've got Varian, who can charge in and taunt. You have Greymane, who can dive in when he's ready. You've got Chen, who can pop Storm Earth and Fire. I'm feeling right now like Wood League has a significant advantage in this.
Sure, but this Arthas Aero is actually really scary. I'm not gonna lie. If played wrong, if Wood League takes one misstep or they go just too far, Arthas is gonna lock that person down hard. And it's going to be that much more difficult for Wood League to secure kills. So if this Arthas knows what he's doing, which I assume Genzors knows what he's doing, it's going to be really rough for Wood League. So I'm kind of now leaning more towards Calculated Blues, just a bit. So I'm going to disagree, Aero.
That's fine. I think they have... actually, I don't know. The race seems pretty equal too, especially having the Tyrande for the.
I really like both comps. I really do.
I think it's going to be an interesting game.
It should be a really fun one.
Well, you know what? You were introducing the red team earlier, so why don't I have you stick with that?
Sure. Okay. I will introduce red team. Yes, that is Calculated Blues. It's going to be Night playing Li Ming. Brickhouse going to be playing Anubarak. Suikoden on Anduin. Oh, that's fun to say. Genzor's playing Arthas, and Sfugino on Raynor.
All right, and for Wood League, Chen going to be played by Cyan. We've got Droopy on the Greymane, Mtino on Varian, Sailor Sky on Tyrande, and Kavlor pulling it up on the Jaina. Now, Valkymer, welcome. Good to see you here. Glad you could join us.
To point that out, I see that he asks, do we like Chromie or Li Ming more for Race Mage? I like Li Ming more.
Yeah,
that being said, Chromie, I don't hate it. It's not a horrible idea. It's like good enough, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends a lot on the rest of your composition.
Yeah.
Genzor's is a female, according to Always Full Mango, so there you go.
Well, now I feel like a jerk, and it is 2019. I should be using
they.
Non-binary pronouns.
Gender neutral. Guys. It happens. So, yeah, so I think it depends a lot on the rest of the comp. You know, if you have the potential to make that Chromie work, great. But I mean, Li Ming to me is the safer pick because she's got the ability to get out of dodge. That Chastise coming out from Suikoden, allowing Brickhouse to dive in onto Greymane, nearly securing the kill. That was pretty solid.
Yeah, I liked it. It was pretty sweet there. It kind of shows off what this comp is capable of doing and just going, oof, you know. So I'm excited to see more of that. And, you know, another thing that Woodley's going to struggle with until level 4 is they don't have 5 characters. They have 4 characters and a glorified minion in Varian. Oh, he opted for Lion's Maw? I love it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Lion's Maw when you're going Taunt Varian. Mtino, they're pretty deep and actually not even that deep, just at the midpoint there, but did get the kill. That's going to be the first kill of the game onto the king, the former king of Stormwind. But I was going to say, I like the Lion's Maw because, you know, once you get that quest stacked, first of all, you're getting a bunch of extra damage, which is huge. You know, you take the level 7 as well, which gives you more healing, but it gives you that 50% slow for 2 seconds, and it doesn't degrade. And that is a long time.
Yeah, and it does decent damage once it's completed. Like, it's not anything to sneeze at. So that's fun too.
And I mean, between your charge, your taunt, and then a 2-second slow on Lion's Fang, that's a long time that you are not really able to go anywhere. So,
another thing I want to point out: Wolfheart for Greymane.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. So on Immortals, I can kind of see that. Because you're going to be getting those attacks on the Immortals for, you know, a fairly significant amount of time, generally speaking. So that's going to get your cooldown a little bit faster for the transition.
Sure.
You know, after halftime.
I suppose. Oh, that's a good point. After halftime. No, that's a really good point. Actually, I didn't think of that. This is why you have 2 casters.
So it looks like halftime slightly going over to the blue team, I think?
So
just a little bit. About 1,500.
Looks like Varian's going to get called out by a Chastise and a Burrow from a Nubarak, but nothing particularly doing there. Li Ming doing her absolute best to get the damage out. Now, Tyrande Sun going out, not finding anyone. Droopy extremely low. Arthas is just sitting on him. Goes down, and Varian is quick to follow.
Yeah, and that was significant value from Genzor's there, using the Frozen Tempest to keep everybody slow, to slow down the Greymane, to slow down the Varian, and help them to secure those kills. And now that they've got the kind of the front wall here, Raynor and Li Ming going back to get the rest of the race done on their side.
Yeah, Sailor Sky getting caught again, but just kidding. She runs over to her wall, which now has little turrets there. Droopy finding Suikoden a little bit out of position there, but doesn't quite kill him. In fact, Nubarak goes in and burrows on the rest of the team. Cyan getting dangerously low on Chen, but Jane is actually the first one to fall down. Night Night doing her absolute best to get as much damage out onto Droopy and among others, and doesn't quite finish the kill. Although this Chastise might find something, no. Droopy gets out.
And I do want to point out there, Genzor is barely making it out alive. Like, yeah, that's one thing I've noticed with Arthas is the kind of hero that you can stay in the fight until you know, you have no mana left, right? I mean, you keep death coiling yourself.
In 2 streams ago, Arthas does not die. Period.
I mean, that's not true, but
well, okay.
Definitely has the survivability that they need for this kind of comp, and also to help to slow down the dive that can come out from Wood League. So really strong start here from the Calculated Blues. Oh, you know, the other thing, Chen versus Arthas. Chen just gets destroyed by that. As we're watching ever so slowly here.
Ever so slowly and painfully as Cyan unfortunately falls. I shouldn't laugh. That's not funny, but I only giggled because I just so happened to click up there and saw a dead panda. So camp actually picked up for Wood League. That sounds pretty good for them, Team Money. What do you think?
Yeah, no, that's you know, that's very valuable to offset the fact that they lost Chen in the top lane. You know, they're sitting about a half a level behind right now, so they got to get, you know, XP wherever they can, as Chen is heading back up now to catch what he can out of that missing soak. You know, it's a bit early, so there's not going to be any real significant value. Although the Anubarak getting taunted, holy cow, Brickhouse barely making it out alive there.
Oh. Ever so slightly. Brickhouse has been dangerously low quite often, actually. But you know what? That's the Anubarak difference, baby.
Indeed. Now, I gotta ask Mystic here in a minute. You're gonna have to tell me CTHD. What does that stand for? Calculated throw high definition?
High definition. I hope so. I really hope so. I just followed Mystic. I noticed that I wasn't following him, and I went, wait a minute. On Twitch, I mean. I was just like, wait, this isn't right. How can I not follow a man of Zelda?
Right?
Whoops. Big mistake by me.
All right,
Let me know how Link's will be.
So here we go here. And we saw this in the last game as well here. The red side electing at their Shaman camp. Now, at least in this circumstance, they're a little bit closer in timing, and it's the Immortals on their side of the map, so they can get in and defend this a bit. The taunt going out onto Anduin, the Blizzard getting value and securing the kill on the current King of Stormwind. Although Mtano has that Elun's Grace, I think is what it's called?
Yep, you got it. Elun's Chosen, excuse me.
Chosen, yeah. So able to keep the Varian alive there from Tyrande. Valkymer, that hurts. Rek laughs at dead pandas. Way to go, Rek.
Like...
Hanamura Drift. That's what the HD is. Got it.
Oh, gotcha.
Alright, so the Immortal going over this time to Wood League, although Brickhouse going in deep. The Tyrande stun coming out, and Cocoon going out on Tyrande this time. There's the Salvation. We see the pings calling for Tyrande here. There's the root, and it looks like Sailor Sky's going to go down, surrounded by the red team. And Genzor is now out of mana, and that's what I was going to mention earlier, is that basically, you know, Arthas has to be a little bit careful about his mana management. At level 1, he took the block, Rhyme, so he doesn't have the additional mana coming out of that auto attack Frostmourne Hungers, I think. Oh no, I missed that.
Excuse you. It's not. It's Frostmourne Hungers.
Yeah, it could be that too.
Yeah, that one.
Thanks for the follow, Mudge. Glad you were able to stop by and enjoy the stream tonight.
Oh, all sorts of people following tonight. This is a very wholesome night there, T Swizzle.
It is. So Chastise hitting onto the Tyrande, but there is still a mini wave here. Oh, but the Disintegrate.
Disintegrate not quite enough to finish off Tyrande because she tried to she got taunted by the Varian. Oh dear. And
yeah, Varian came in and
trying to find Spogino. Does, using that sweet dive of his. And the big stun's coming out onto Suikoden for a quick interruption of the Salvation, which doesn't get too much value, but that's okay.
So for what it's worth, I'm a little bit surprised by the Salvation. I mean, there are only a couple of ways to interrupt it on this team, right? There's Lunar Flare, there's the taunt. and that's it. I mean, I guess. Well, no, I mean, I guess Chen could have taken barrel, but he didn't. So I guess I don't, entirely hate it, but Salvation is just one of those things. It's not like a mosh pit where anybody that has, you just look for the person who has the interrupt, but we're going to see the dive onto Chen. The Chastise coming out, he does not have Storm Earth and Fire, so that's going to be a kill onto the Chen. But anyways, my point was, it's not like Mosh Pit where you can target the people who have the interrupts to make sure that you get full value. In this case, you stand still for a few seconds, which means that all of those abilities that they want to land, Starfall, they can do Storm Earth and Fire, and they know where you're going to be. They're going to hit them. Lunar Flare, you get the interrupt. So I don't know. I like the ability in theory, but I feel like it loses out over, the potential of Light Bomb, especially with an Anubarak.
And I actually agree with you on this one, T-Money, but I love Salvation in general. I'm a big fan of Nope heroics, this like Salvation and what's the other one? Sanctification. Yeah. I love those. Oh shoot, they're gonna blow us up. No. I love that idea. But Light Bomb generally is better. I hate to admit it.
So halftime was picked up here by Wood League, and we're going to see Calculated Blues making their way up here. They don't quite clear out the Shaman camp, so that may cause them some difficulty later. They know where Anubarak is. They call even the Danger Pings coming in here. Big Li Ming orb there, and I think Cursed Bullet missed, but Genzor's getting obliterated. But the trade onto Jaina as Varian in the Cocoon. Who is this? Chen now, popping Storm Earth and Fire. Doesn't have a whole lot of health when he comes out, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But diving in, trying to get the save onto Raynor, but that's going to be a quick kill there. And the disengage from the Calculated Blues.
Yeah, there was a lot of split fighting there again, and I think, who was it? Arthas got a little split off there.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is just unfortunate, because that's the person you need in the front the most, I think. But, I mean...
Yeah, I think, they really have to watch for the Storm Earth and Fire, because the Storm Earth and Fire is going to be able to obliterate any one of those three in the back line.
Yeah, there's a reason it's a 2-minute cooldown.
Yeah. And really their only interrupt for it is Anubarak. I guess Raynor too. Raynor can penetrating around it. So, I mean, they have to really be mindful of that. And in that circumstance, they knew exactly when he was going to pop it because he had a full, stagger bar. And that's, if you're Chen, that's when you're looking to get rid of it to keep yourself alive. But we're going to see them pushing in onto the keep here. And just in that time to say that, Arthas gets a combo of a taunt, Cursed Bullet, and that's a free keep now. What do you think, Rek? Where's this going?
I think I'm about to eat my words. No, maybe not necessarily. There's a big old stun coming down onto Anduin, but he's kind of staying in there, and Brickhouse falls just as fast. Cyan trying to find a Spagino. Doesn't quite find the mark there, but Entino got ahead of diving in on Night Knight. Doesn't find anything either. I think that's just the end of the game era. I wasn't paying attention to the core damage.
Rek, when you said whoever was looking for a Spagino, I was like... Is this some kind of Italian dessert?
You can't just...
just the way that you said it. I don't know if there is, if Spagino is it's like a tiramisu, right? You just expect that to be, I expect it to be some kind of a gelatin, sweet dessert. It just, that's what pops into my head when you say Spagino.
I really don't have any words.
Well, that, Killswise was a very similar game, but I think that, once level 10s came online, Wood League really ran away with that.
Yeah, I ate my words. I actually thought that Calculated Blues was really going to take it away. I did mention the Arthas being an issue, and granted, she was in the first half, or the first 9 levels. It's kind of like what we saw in the last game, Aero. One side, it looks one-sided until it isn't, So it's kind of funny, and I do think that these abilities are particularly, or the heroic abilities are particularly better, namely Earth, Wind, and Fire. Yeah, Earth, Wind,
Storm,
and
Earth,
Fire.
and Fire.
Storm, Earth, and Fire. Thanks. Yeah, I think that these heroics are generally better. So like, it's it's tricky, you know. It's tricky.
Yeah, and you know, for what it's worth, I think that a lot of that came down to the variant taunt, because that allowed them to, point and click the cursed bullet, and then, I mean, you've got the blow up of a Jaina Greymane, and there's nobody, including a Nubarak, on the other side that's going to be able to survive that burst damage when they're starting off at 60, 55%, whatever it is.
Yeah, and like they don't have the biggest counter, I suppose, to something like that would be a cleanse, and Anduin has kind of a cleanse, if you want to call it that, but it's not reliable, I suppose. So you only get one every 80 or 90 seconds. I forget the cooldown, I'm sorry, but so it's not quite a cleanse necessarily. So like I think if they picked up the Tyrande before Woodley got it, the draft was so different. I can't say that.
Yeah, I mean, again, I mean, both of the teams had good drafts. I think some adjustments into some of the heroics. I think if they go Light Bomb, that's a huge difference for them, because all of those circumstances where they were after the Arthas or they switched on to the Anubarak, and suddenly those 4 or 5 people who are chasing down that target are stunned, and all of that Li Ming orb damage, all of that the Raynor veteran marksman, or I guess that's not what it was, give him some pepper, like all of that stuff combos into that so well, and now they start getting kills where they were almost getting kills at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Well, I want to see more now. I want to see some more good stuff there, T-Pain.
You know what else I think you would like to see? I think you'd like to see some more Diablo.
I think I would. Don't even tell me. Do I get to see some more Diablo? I do. Look at this. Oh dear, they have me on a team. No, not like this.
So it looks like the red team picked this one. So once again, both of the map picks so far being picked by Calculator Blues. Red team's liking the map pick tonight. Let's take a look at our maps again here. The game number 1 there on Battlefield of Eternity, won by Wood League. That was selected by the Calculated Blues. And our bans coming out from Wood League were Baraxis Holdout and Cursed Hollow. On the other side, from Calculated Blues, we had Towers of Doom and Volsky Foundry.
That's right, I remember you mentioned that. So no Cursed Hollow, that's fine by me. Did you say Alterac? Please tell me Alterac was banned. Did I hear that correctly? Oh,
no.
People, ban Alterac. Get rid of it. I hate it. No more. No.
Rick just wants a global ban on Alterac.
I legit hate that map with an undying passion. I want it removed from the game. Get rid of it.
Suikoden, I was worried they would kill the target before Light Bomb went off, was trying to counter that. You know what, that's fair. That is a reasonable assessment of that. And that's what I was thinking too, is that, you mentioned even in the middle of the game, that you like those kind of abilities, the just say no kind of, you can't do that kind of a scenario. And in all seriousness, like the challenge is that Salvation requires that you're close enough for that heal and for the protect, and that, I mean, there's still a short cast, not quite as long as the Light Bomb, but no, I mean, again, it's I'm not here to say it was the wrong call. I think that it could have gone differently. So, holy smokes, always Mango coming in with 1,500 bits. Let's go Blues, says Mango. Thanks, Mango. Having some fun up here tonight.
I mean, the Blues won the Stanley Cup, did they not?
I have no idea. Do you? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure they did.
There you go. And Mango, I believe the newest member of Regen Anomaly, so Regen in the house tonight, representing, supporting their teams.
That's true. That's true. They are also here to support their main man, Killer T.
All right, so it looks like we're waiting on one player here. It looks like maybe Sailor Sky?
Yeah, they said she's grabbing a beverage.
Brick. Yeah, I'm just making sure they kept the same people here. Yep, Genzor's.
I have mine, except it's almost empty.
Yeah, mine's almost empty too.
What do you have?
I am having Coca-Cola.
Oh, I have a Signature Select Cola.
Oh, there you go.
Store-specific brand.
There you go, Rec.
Yeah. I need my sugar water. Or else I can't function. I'm a soda addict, people. I'm sorry.
Me too. I need to push that off again.
I don't think I can do it.
It's not easy. It's tough.
I don't really participate in any other sugars, though, to be honest. Like, I'm not a dessert person, like, at all. No, do you want anything for dessert? Nope. I'm good.
Depends on where I'm at, what I'm doing. I definitely prefer, like, the salty foods to the sweet foods at this point. 180 degrees from when I was a kid, of course.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's better, by the way.
I'm trying to get into spicy, personally, but...
Region Anomaly winners of the first ever Battle of the Bottoms, the Div C... I don't know what you would call it.
I don't even know what you're talking about. What is this?
The Div C Battle of the Bottoms was was kind of an off-season, short duration tournament between the teams that didn't get to go to the playoffs.
Oh, I see.
So
okay.
Region Anomaly was the top bottom.
I'm just not going to respond to that.
Yep. So there you go. All right, here we go. Infernal Shrines, game number 2. So, a little bit of a different map. Still heavy objective focus. Depending on the circumstances, we could see a push heavy focus comp, something with a Sylvanas, even a hammer. And we're going to see the ban out onto Maiev. Now, Maiev, I've seen a lot of, like, really good combos here, being able to chain off of the Skeletal Defenders. So, I like that adjustment.
I agree. Not bad. I think Maev's just decent all around, too. Like, if you know how to play her, oof, you know? No Jaina either, though. Decent ban. One of the better mages in the game, at least in my opinion. Good way through.
All right, so apparently they did not pick this map because they switched the first pick. So it looks like Calculated Blues wanted first pick.
Gotcha.
And
no
that could also be the reason why we're seeing some of these bans being a little bit different here, because last game they banned out Sylvanas and Stukov, yes. Both of which can get a lot of value on this map.
Yes.
We also just saw Johanna and Diablo from the side of Wood League, so... And there's that Sylvanas ban.
Definitely. There she goes. Soul Sylvanas. Get her out of here. Get her out of the game. Get it. Go away.
So first pick coming out from the Blues. Now, Mystic bringing up, of course, that this is a fresh team, only a couple of weeks old.
That's right, T-Limper.
This is a great place to put together that team. You know
what else? This is a great place for Johanna.
It is a great place for
Johanna. It is a really good. I just said that.
I was agreeing with you, Rack.
I know. I like to give you a hard time. Let it be known. But anyway, Johanna, super good here, I think. She's super good in general, but I think she excels even more here than usual. So that's really exciting. A nice pickup. And Stuki and Diablo, also pretty good here, not gonna lie. So I really like these picks coming out.
Yeah, and I'm not surprised to see the priority on the Stukov. You know, it was banned out for a reason last game, and, you know, aside from the Alex Straza, I'm 10% surprised we didn't see an Alex Straza here, especially with the Diablo. But because she is strong here, and because it's a very strong character for Sailor Sky. But she's also played Stukov really well as well. So, you know, like I said, 10% surprised, because I would have expected if she was going to play the Alex Straza, this would be the map to do it.
Next up is Gul'dan Ariel. Now Ariel was buffed kind of recently, and I actually think she feels great now. Well, not great, but significantly better than before, I would say. She feels like usable. How about that? We'll say usable now. So I really like that pickup, and of course she pairs well with Gul'dan, who is also good on this map. So once again, like these are just all good, all-around pickups.
So we have seen a lot of a double support with the Oriole.
Yeah.
Somebody with potentially a cleanse or even a Tassadar. You know, we don't have an auto attacker yet. We could still potentially see like a Vala even. Mm-hmm. They would put them a little bit light on their like solo lane, so it would be a little bit, you know, challenging for that.
But let me hit you with this one. Let me hit you with this one. Water Dragon.
I mean, it could happen, and Lily has the shortest cleanse other than Lucio, so...
please, okay, please, Orphea, Rainer, whatever, I don't care. Show me the Water Dragon, please. Come on.
I feel like... is Rek over... Yeah, I was gonna say, I can just expect Rek over here with his hands. Yeah, doing the thing that you're doing.
Spagino. Because that's apparently a funny word now.
It's just it's a dessert.
Watch it be
I feel like it's a dessert.
And I'm gonna feel really bad.
It could be.
No.
Well,
no.
So there's the auto attacker. So okay, yeah. So that's interesting. So this is an interesting comp. So at least currently, there's no blind on the side of Wood League. Sonya's a strong pick. They have fantastic wave clear. I think right now, at least until I see this last pick, I'm really feeling like I like the blues here. Now that is an interesting wild card, though. So Orphea can still get pretty significant value. I think it's going to be hard to do an Eternal Feast. So I think that I would expect it to be a Crushing Jaws. The Ragnaros could potentially get, you know, pretty significant value out of Lava Waves. Which is kind of funny to even say this, because Sulfuria Smash has been the pick. If you were going to take Ragnaros, it was the only pick for a long time. And then suddenly, nobody takes Sulfuria Smash because it's trash. What? Really? Because you just get so much value out of Lava Wave. And it's just kind of crazy seeing how much of a difference that is. So if Wood League can stay, you know, on top of it, can not lose the shrines, like if they get the first shrine, I feel like they are at an advantage here.
Right. Yeah, I'd like to actually throw out that maybe the reason for that is the 2019 changes, you know.
Good point. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like I think that's part of it, to be honest. You know, Soak is more important than ever before. So,
good point. All right, Rek, let's introduce our teams. Why don't you start with Calculated Blues?
All right, there, T Swizzle. We've got Night playing Gul'dan, Spagino playing Zul'jino, and the Sukunin will be playing Ariel, Brickhouse on Tonya. Did I cut out there?
You did. So Brickhouse on who?
Brickhouse is on Johanna, and Genzor's on Sonya.
There you go. All right, and then on the left here, we've got Wood League. We've got Emtano on Diablo, Sailor Sky on the Stukov, Droopy playing the Orphea, Kavlar on Raynor, and Cyan on Ragnaros.
Dope.
Let's take a look at our talents here. So we've got the Blast Wave build coming out from Ragnaros. From what I hear, that's the way to go, and I can see that especially on a map like this where you've got the skeletal defenders. But it's Spine Launcher on Stukov. What do you think about that?
I don't love it, to be honest with you. I don't love it against a blinding Johanna, and well, for starters. Number 2, who's it supposed to hit? Sonya, I suppose it slows. I would have opted for either low blow or fetid touch in this scenario. I don't think that Spine Launcher is the pick here. But that being said, I mean, I have gotten value out of it. I have a love-hate relationship with Spine Launcher. I really do. I used to hate it. Then I would play it a lot, and I said, "Oh, this is pretty good." Now I hate it again. So I don't think that's the to be.
Well, we'll see how that goes. We'll see what kind of value maybe Sailor Sky can put that Spine Launcher to use. And on the other side here, so of course Headhunter for Zul'jin. That's a pretty standard pick unless you're trying to look at like a Garrosh and mitigating the armor value. There's Diablo throwing Johanna behind, and the body blocks from Stukov keeping Brickhouse, but the team essentially just saying, we're not going to kill Johanna, so let's pull back. I think they could have gotten that kill if they hadn't pulled away.
I know, they got the throw Hana in there.
So anyways, we also had the Breath of Heaven talent, or Ray of Heaven rather, Searing Light for the additional damage. Laws of Hope. An interesting pick on Brickhouse there. The reality of it is that for Johanna, like any of her level 1s at this point are really, high value. But I feel like Raynor and even Orphea, both have pretty decent auto attack damage. Same thing with Stukov. I don't know. I think the new Reinforce just gets so much value. 60 physical armor is just so good.
It's a lot. It's not insignificant. You think, physical armor. Most of the damage in this game is from, whatchamacallits, abilities. Not really. I don't know. I think that I actually think Reinforce would have been okay here. Yeah.
And again, though, it's not the wrong talent because she doesn't have a wrong talent at level 1.
No, not really. I don't think it's going to make or break the game at all.
It also, you know what? The other thing it can do, and we may end up seeing a pause here. We do. Let's go back to our cams here. The other thing that can do is it allows Johanna to be a little bit more aggressive with her positioning, because it means that she doesn't have to necessarily be with the rest of the team to make sure that she's able to get the healing from Ariel. So, maybe that's part of the thinking.
I suppose. I guess it does offer that much more sustain, So it makes sense. I guess. It's not going to make or break the game. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I like, some of the talents, when you're talking about something like this specifically, where it's so equal between the various talents, it's nice to kind of work out the idea of maybe what they're thinking and learn about different ways to play. But we're going to see that flip from Entano onto Ariel, and that's going to be first blood from Woodleague here.
Yeah.
But they only need 4 more now here on the side of Calculated Blues. So, I mean, they've got Gul'dan. They could get it. That corruption is getting a lot of value, and there it is.
There it goes, indeed. And they managed to find themselves a nice Mortar Punisher, which is actually my favorite one, Aero. Droopy gonna find the brunt of it, actually, and getting hit by those mortars. That's why I like it so much. The mortar damage is not insignificant. Big flip onto Johanna, though. Brickhouse in quite a bit of trouble, and guess what? Goes down.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that you can do on this map, especially against, a hero like a Diablo or a Garrosh or something, is, take down the sidewalls. They have almost no health. In fact, let's compare. What's the health of the gate? 5,300. The health of the sidewall? 1,700. That's a huge difference. It's about a third. So, taking the time to just knock down one of those sidewalls gets you two things. For one, it allows you an escape, and this is a challenge here as Emtino finding Ariel once again. The Detainment Strike, though, knocking back the big damage coming from Rag.
Ooh, Droopy went a little too deep there, took some tower shots. This is why you don't dive past your minions.
So I had a point in... Oh, yeah. So the other thing that it allows you to do is, you know, your Punisher jumps over that wall, and yeah, okay, so you can do damage to the towers or the wall, but if you have the Punisher on the other side there, you can just take the sidewall and go in and get damage on the fort. So, and the damage on the fort ultimately, you know, a little bit more valuable, I think, than the towers. The towers you're going to get eventually either way, but the damage on the fort is a little bit harder to get into. It puts you into a bit more exposed position when you don't have the Punisher.
Yeah.
There's a big Detainment Strike, though, saving the Gul'dan, and it might be enough to get the kill onto Emtino,
no.
But not quite. Close.
They're very close.
So Energized Cord coming out from Ariel at level 7 there.
Energized Cord. Oh, not bad. I mean, again, I think I would have opted for the Globe talent as well. But actually, you know what I'm actually, again, kind of bothered by? Vigorous Reuptake at 4 from Stukov. Don't love that talent either, especially against the Zul'jin. I'd be taking the physical armor.
Could be, yeah. Zul'jin Sonya could be. The 3 or more targets, they do have, you know, the Diablo Rag, so I mean, they're probably going to be able to get the consistency out of the 3 or more targets, I would think. But we've got level 10s from both teams. Let's start here on the side of Wood League. Right now, we've got Flailing Swipe, Lightning Breath from Diablo. It is the Crushing Jaws, as I mentioned earlier, and Lava Wave from Ragnaros. Big surprise there to nobody. And then followed up by that Hyperion. So getting the extra push value here, you know, really looking at the siege and structure and XP value and kind of putting the kill potential out onto the Orphea.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of like win more, I suppose, coming out of Wood League. We'll see how they can deal with how oh my god. Calculated Blues can deal with all of that. Can they get the objectives first? I think that's their main priority if you're Calculated Blues, is you gotta get those objectives. You just have to.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you don't get the objective, and you've got Ragnaros who's going to be able to throw out Lava Waves and keep the XP going, also a Molten Core, but there's that dive in onto Genzor's, and the Lightning Breath coming out basically all onto the Gul'dan here, but it's going to be the kill onto Ragnaros. Although Johanna's in a pretty
deep there, and there she goes.
Pretty tight spot. So 1 for 2 there, and this should be a shrine over to the side of Wood League, and this is a really bad one to lose. This is the Frozen Punisher. This is where they get the lockdown, and they'll have Rag back on the map. So, I mean, this fort is very likely to go down, and it'll have a Ragnaros behind it.
Yeah. Oh, this will definitely go down, and if you know, Calculated Blues isn't careful, this will definitely be a keep too. Like, assuming they're not careful. I'm looking at Spagino's stacks, not too great right now. Zul'jin not getting quite the value that I think they would have hoped at the moment.
So yeah, and it looks like Zul'jin going into the cleave at 7. So I expect we'll see. I don't remember the name of the talent. I think it's 16. Somebody's listening to the stream because they're calling for that sidewall, doing exactly what I said earlier, and especially with the Frozen Punisher too. Like, this is the one that you really want to be pushing in on. Wait, what?
What? Don't know about that one, but okay. Right. Sure. 4v4 now, I suppose, in the mid lane. Like we said, definitely a fort. If we're not careful here, that might be a keep, fellas. And Oriel's actually going to get rooted and pounced on by the big Punisher, not Immo, excuse me. Uh-oh. Fat rotation coming down onto Genzor's by the entirety of Woodley. Can she get out? Maybe. No. Just kidding. Emtino finds a nice stun onto the wall. And actually, once again, diving towers, fellas. What are we doing?
Oh, and the Hyperion getting limited value there. The Flailing Swipe coming out onto Stukov, but just so much damage on there. Wasn't able to keep up with that. So, you know, that trade, this time a 2-for-1 in favor of Calculated Blues, that's super high value for them because there's no reason they should have gotten any kills out of that.
Yeah, can I get a "you hate to see it" in chat? Just I'll spell it out for you. Yeah, I hate to see it. Just
in about a minute. They'll...
I mean, I'm also behind even further because my computer is kind of poopy. So.
Okay, well, you'll see it in a minute and 10 seconds then.
Great, wonderful.
So, with the siege camp here, we've got a 4v4 down here. Sonya cleaning up the mid lane. Not a lot to do.
No, camp's kind of in a bit of a lull. Although there might be another team fight breaking out here, actually. Looks that way. Maybe. Yeah, actually, Brickhouse might be going down here. There he goes.
And that's going to give now the advantage over here to Wood League, is they're going to, now that they have this minion wave, now they can come in here and put some damage onto this keep, or I'm sorry, this fort. Lightning Breath, perhaps a misuse there. I think that was probably a misclick. I'm guessing Emtino was going for the overpower.
I suppose?
Yeah. But it looks like now Calculated Blues have their ultimates up. So, I mean, that Horrify can provide a lot of value. And this time the Hyperion going into the structure, that last Hyperion really only got value on the bottom tower and the well, but it missed the fort itself entirely. So none of those cannon shots going out. But a little bit of a bush gank here, and Brickhouse checking the camp but not checking the bush. Going into the team does pop the Iron Skin, so no charge stun from Diablo. And Brickhouse able to make it out just fine. But this is a 5-man push here at this camp, so I don't expect to see them try to come into this. They're just gonna have to defend it. When we have Arcane Shrine, so we have seen a rotation, full rotation of the 3 different types of Punishers.
16's picked up as well, Aero. So, I'm taking a look at these talents too. Debilitating Flames, do you usually take that?
Debilitating Flames, which... so it depends. If you take the rest of like the Lightning Breath build, then I actually can see a use for it, especially when you've got these kind of one direction corridors like this, because it means that you can really just drop down their damage and slow them. We're gonna see the Detainment Strike onto Diablo, the Flailing Swipe pushing the team back here. Zul'jin popping, oh no, Zul'jin popping the Taz Dingo, but we're gonna see 2 kills onto Sonya and Johanna. Diablo gonna go down, but the Taz Dingo doesn't keep you alive forever, and that's gonna be a kill onto Zul'jin as well. So a 3-for-1 trade, but Diablo's already back on the map.
Yeah, there goes the Taz Dingus. But oof. Huh. I'm just reading these talents right now.
Yeah, and you see once again they're pinging that sidewall. You know, they realize that that's going to get them value. Now, obviously, none of them are going to get flipped or anything like that, but they don't care about the sidewall.
No. In fact, I think Suikoden and Night Knight are playing with fire here. They're really kind of a little too dangerous, a little too far forward. In fact, the Punisher does jump on them and starts heading towards the core now. I don't think it's going to get any core damage per se, though. So
yeah, and Wood League's pulling back here. They're going to head up to mid lane, clean this up. And, you know, both teams do have level 16, so we're on even talent tiers. But at least for right now, you know, Wood League's up still a full level, almost 2 levels. They're certainly on their way to level 20 well in advance of Calculated Blues.
Yeah, T-Lumper, I'm not really sure. You know, I'm wondering what's going through the minds of Calculated Blues right now. You know, oh boy, we don't have any forts. We don't really have anything right now. And we are playing against a Ragnaros with Lava Wave. They can't really push. They're kind of stuck.
Yeah, they need to find a good engage, but all of these engages have been really coming out from Wood League, and this is not it, ladies and gentlemen. Not when your Sonya's not here. Although Sonya's coming in from behind, but the fear going out. Brickhouse is in tons of danger, and Oriel's nowhere even remotely close enough to do anything about it. The kill onto Zul'jin following as well, and now Sonya, and this may very well even be the beginning of the end of the game here, because
I think so.
But they'd rather get the camp. And they're not. It looks like they're split on whether they're going to do anything here. So looks like Entino maybe wanted to go for core. But that, okay, so they just spent about 15 seconds deciding whether or not they wanted to push for core.
Yeah, you can't be indecisive. You got to choose one or the other.
Now, I think they still have a lot of potential here, but it's a lot riskier because the rest of the team.
I don't know about that.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Unfortunate. I think that's just it, Aero. I don't think anything else. There's nothing left.
Yeah, it's looking that way. They're coming back into this, and they are going to try to do what they can, but Zul'jin going to go down here, another kill, and that's going to be game number 2 going over to the Wood League. So they played that well?
I'd say so, yeah.
And it went about, what we described too, right? I mean, the early game was a little bit harder, but once they got to the point of that, level 10, just like we talked about in that last game as well. Once they got to level 10 and they were able to provide the additional XP coming from Ragnaros, the siege potential from Raynor, like it really gave them the opportunity to just open the map up and get so much value.
Yeah, definitely looks that way. There was just a lot of, I think just poor positioning from Calculated Blues, to be honest, for the most part. And I think, Wood League just capitalized on that better. That's what I think ultimately was their undoing. Not to put Wood League down or anything. It's not true at all, but they did a good job capitalizing on the other team's mistakes.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay, so we're going to get Kavlor. So let's go ahead and hop over into our casting booth again.
Sure.
All right, Kavlor, welcome to the channel. Thanks for joining us, and congratulations on your win there, 2-0 over the Calculated Blues.
Thanks. We'll take it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. So, I'm going to ask some similar questions. I don't know if you watched any of our prior stream, but I'm going to ask you a couple of similar questions here. So, your team made some adjustments in the most recent NGS season. You guys had some pretty, good success there for the most part, coming up number 2 overall in the division. How are you guys feeling going into this kind of off-season, doing this off-season event? You looked pretty strong here tonight. What's your team feeling at this point? Just not necessarily after the game, but overall.
I mean, our overall feeling with the XGDI is a way to keep us from getting rusty, and we already saw signs of that in our game earlier in the week. Between the playoffs and NGS and our first match earlier this week, we had like 2, maybe 3 weeks of downtime where we didn't get our normal amount of play and practice in, and it really showed earlier in the week when we didn't play all that well. And so hopefully that's the whole point, is when the next season rolls around that we're not, playing catch up.
Sure.
So I appreciate DeWitt, putting everything on and organizing all of this to get all the teams together, and it's always fun.
So how does doing this kind of off-season event, especially going up against a team that is pretty new, a lot of these names are familiar faces, but not necessarily together. So what's your preparation like? How is that different going into a team like this?
Well, my preparation I deleted today because I didn't even realize that it wasn't region blue anymore. I didn't know that they had changed everything up. That's how, lax we've been in this off season that I guess I wasn't paying attention. But so I even messaged Mongoose the other day, and I was like, okay, I guess I won't see you tonight. But yeah, thankfully though, we know Brickhouse and Ginzers and Night Night. There's very familiar people, so we knew some general, comfort picks of theirs, but we didn't know these 5 players together to say, hey, these are the comps they like to run or anything. So we kind of just said, you know what, we're just gonna pick what we want and kind of ban what we know is their favorite type of thing, even if it's not a comp that we know they run together.
And so that first game, you guys had a single target, like just delete them from the game in a matter of a moment, kind of comp, and it worked pretty well. So when you saw some of the variations that they had on their team, was there anything that you guys were concerned about, getting set up to that? Like, did you just feel out of the gate that you were ahead? It felt like the race was pretty similar, and then the team fight had the potential to go wildly one way or the other. So, talk to us a little bit about that, how that set up for you.
We're using it to get back to basics. Taunt variant is a very, it's just big on communication. Okay, here's who we're on, blow them up, kind of coordination, just like you said. And it has the potential to kill anyone. Even if a noob, their tank is right there, like, we'll just kill him. If the other members of their team can't interrupt us or do anything to save him, anyone who's out of position is dead. And that's what we're really we're focusing on, because our communication was lacking earlier in the week. So we said, hey, let's get back to basics and just get back into it. And it's also fun to just delete somebody. So
yeah, isn't it?
we thought exactly. We thought it would kind of be a fun thing to play. And at the same time, we know Night Night plays Jaina a lot. So we were like, hey, it's a way of denial at the same time, so let's do it. And it was fun. Yeah, the team race we felt like was kind of even, but we said, hey, all we got to get is 1 kill, and then we can win a race pretty easily.
Sure. And then in the second game, in the first game, Rec didn't believe me. I thought you guys had the advantage, pretty solidly there. In the second game, I felt like the Blues had a little bit of an advantage in that with their comp. It looked a little bit scary, but you guys were able to really, get to level 10, I think almost exactly the same time. And then once you got to level 10, like your comp opened up, right? You had the siege, you had the constant XP coming out from the Ragnaros. When you guys started your drafting, you started to see how theirs materialized. Did that change anything for how you guys put together your team comp? Or was this basically the plan all along and you just kind of had to go with, we'll just have to make it work?
They know us, and they banned the heroes that we like to play on shrines. So we kind of went with the flow and adjusted. So they banned Kael'thas, they banned Maiev, I believe.
Yep, that was the first ban.
They picked Gul'dan. So we had several adjustments throughout the draft, and we kind of just said, okay, well, here's what we've got. They've got great wave clear. How can we counter that with our 5th pick? And we said, okay, well, Rag has great wave clear, and he can really put pressure on these lanes, elsewhere, even when he's in the team fight. And he can counter a camp and allow our camp to push. Like one of those objectives, our camp was just getting value for the entire objective, and I think even throughout once we got the Punisher. And I think it was Lava Wave really can add a lot of value in that sense. So we said, hey, we're going to win if we get to the objective first. And that very first objective, we didn't get there first, and they won it. So right. We said, we can't let that happen. We got to get there earlier. And when we were there earlier, it went our way.
And I've got one last question for you here before I throw it over to Rec for any questions he's got. But at the end of game 2 there, you guys get the couple of 3 kills, I think it was. They just had the Gul'dan and Oriel maybe alive. And we noticed there was a little bit of a dance party there around the camp. You guys ended up just getting the camp. But Diablo clearly wanting to go to the core. everybody else kind of saying, no, we got other priorities. So we don't get to have a lot of conversations about that. So tell me, what's going on at that moment? Like, did I just describe exactly what happened, or is there more to it than that?
Comms were our tank said, core, they're dead, 3 dead, we got time. And then it was, is it enough time? Well, do we go mid and get this keep? And it was, no, you're right, we're going core. So it was the back and forth. And the whole time he's just like, oh, I know it's enough time, so I'm going. So and he went.
And we could see that too, right? He started to go, and then he's like, oh, you guys are pulling back, I better not go solo. And then he's like, nah, I'm going anyway. And then he stopped. And it's funny, I was telling Rec at that moment, I was like, they essentially gave him 15 seconds out of 40 to get back on the map. And then you guys, get going into it, and you kill the Gul'dan, and then, okay, that's game over, right? Because now they don't have the potential to kill you.
Into the game stagger, and that's what we said. We said, well, if we get one more kill, then it is game for sure, so let's get that kill, and thankfully we were able to.
Yeah. Troopy, I'm a shit tier shot caller, fair enough. Repsychic, any questions here for Kavlar? By the way, you're muted.
Oh, that would definitely help. Questions. I can't think of any. I'm not good at this part of the interview.
Great question.
I can't think of anything. I'm sorry.
That's okay. No worries, Rec. So, last question of the night then, your shout-outs, Kavlar. What was your favorite moment of the match tonight?
Oh, geez. Favorite moment? I don't really know if I have a favorite moment, per se, except when we just said it was a good bounce back from earlier in the week when we played really, really shitty.
And that's okay, right? You're not expected to necessarily have a highlight reel, running through your brain after winning through the game. It's totally okay. Sometimes people are like, oh, I really like that moment when this happened or that happened, and you guys had some, very consistent plays, and especially in like game one, it would be hard to pick out, hey, this was my favorite moment, because your team wasn't designed for those super flashy, everybody dies. It was designed for the kill this one person really quickly, and then you just go do your next thing, right? Just a quick speed bump and you move on. And
on game two, if you asked Droopy, I bet he would say, he said something to us about, I know you guys didn't see it, but I just like took them 3-on-1 or something, like when we were at the camp. So I guess for him that was probably his favorite moment, but I didn't see it, so it didn't happen. Fair
enough. All right, well, Kavlar, let's go ahead and wrap this up. And any shout-outs?
Just the team for putting up with my, no scouting ridiculousness today. So I'm still making through it. Appreciate it, and we've been together a couple of seasons now. I think we're gonna have a good team going the rest of this into the NGS.
Good deal. Well, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations again on your 2-0 victory. And I think, so we'll play at some point, but we play in the second half. So we'll see you then, and good luck on the rest of the season.
Cool. See you then.
All
Thanks
right.
for the cast.
For sure. I'm going to call you Rec. Hello? Hello, you there?
Hello.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, there I is.
All right. Well, that's it for us tonight. There aren't any other games to cast even. So thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Rec, anything you want to say to everybody at home before we let them go off and do their go to bed thing?
Oh, just thanks for coming out. Thanks for supporting my big friend here, T-Rex. I really appreciate it. I'm sure he appreciates it as well. It was a good time. I had a lot of fun. I almost didn't do this cast, and then I said, no, I'm going to do it. So it was a lot of fun. Good to see a whole bunch of familiar faces in there. And yeah, that's all I got to say.
All right. Rek, I'm glad that you stuck it out as well. And, you know, it's good to see some familiar teams. You know, I haven't been able to play against a lot of these guys, so it's going to be fun to get that opportunity again, at least since Season 6 of NGS. So really looking forward to the opportunity, and these are all, you know, we're going to get to play these guys. So really looking forward to that. Again, thanks everybody for joining us tonight, and I know there are a couple of other Zul'jin Distillery games coming up here later this week. I don't know that I'll be casting any of them or not. I'll take a look at the schedule. But, you know, make sure you hit the follow button to get notified when we do go live. And again, have a great night, guys. See you soon.